Module 5, Lesson 17's objective is to practice placing various fractions on the number line. Item 1 says, locate and label the following fractions on the number line. Let's underline the important details in those directions. Locate and label fractions on the number line. The fractions we need to locate and label are listed here above the number line. We need to figure out where 1/2 should be placed, 4/2, and 5/2. As you can see, there is a 2 on the bottom portion of each of these fractions. That means that each whole needs to be divided into 2 equal portions, or halves. So between 0 and 1, we need to partition the number line into 2 equal halves. I'll put a line here, and I'll double check my work. 1, 2. There are 2 equal portions. Now let's divide the number line between the 1 and the 2 into 2 equal portions and check my work. 1, 2. Now let's divide my line between the 2 and the 3 into 2 equal portions and check my work. 1, 2. Now I have to figure out where the 1/2 should be placed on the number line. I know that 0 is the same thing as 0/2. The next hash mark should be 1/2. 1/2 is the same as 2/2. Then after 2/2 comes 3/2. After 3/2 comes 4/2. That's the same as 2 wholes. After 4/2 comes 5/2. All right, I have finished item 1. I've located and labeled the fractions on the number line. Let's look at item 2. The directions say the same thing. Locate and label the following fractions on the number line. I'll underline those important details. Again, locate and label fractions on the number line. Again, here are the fractions: 11/3, 6/3, and 8/3. As you can see, there is a 3 in the bottom portion of these fractions, which means that each whole needs to be divided equally into thirds. So in between the 2 and the 3, the number line needs to be partitioned into 3 equal parts. Let me try that now. And I'll check my work. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, let's do between 3 and 4. Here and here. I think I'll try to do a better job than that. Here and here. And check my work. 1, 2, 3. And erase my hash mark, or my check marks. Now I have to figure out where each of those fractions goes. I know that 3/3 is the same thing as 1 whole, and another 3/3 is the same thing as 2 wholes. So 2 wholes is the same thing as 3 6/3. So 6/3 will be written above the 2. All right, you figure out where the other 2 fractions goes. You're looking to place 8/3 and 11/3 on the number line. Item 3, locate and label the following fractions on the number line. Again, I'll underline the important details in the directions. Locate and label fractions on the number line. And here are the fractions: 20/4, 13/4, and 23/4. Take a look. The bottom number of each of these fractions is 4, which means that each whole needs to be equally divided or partitioned into 4 parts. So between the 3 and the 4, there needs to be 4 parts. I'll check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Between the 4 and the 5, there needs to be 4 equal parts. Check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4. And between the 5 and the 6, the same. I'll check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have to label the following fractions on the number line. I have to figure out how many thirds there are in 3 wholes. I know that there are 3 thirds in 1 whole, another 3 thirds in 2 wholes, and another 3 thirds in 3 wholes. So that's 3, 6, 9. 9 thirds would be 3 wholes, and then 10 thirds would be the first hash mark afterwards, 11, and so on. We know that 9 thirds is 3 wholes. Take that information, count up from there, and figure out where each of those fractions need to be labeled on the number line. The rest is up to you. Good luck.